that drive to feel our best,
Yeah.
you know? To bounce back quicker, face things with more energy. It's something we're all after, isn't it? We're always looking for those innovations, those breakthroughs that promise to tap into our body's own power. Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something called StemRegen. You might have seen it online. It's a stem cell supplement that's been getting a lot of buzz. We're going to be looking closely at a pretty detailed YouTube review from Savage Reviews. It's from 2025, and they gave it a solid 2-month test run, really hands-on. Our goal here is simple: cut through the hype, look at the claims, the real user feedback, the science bit, basically help you figure out what's really going on with StemRegen and if it's maybe worth your attention.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here, I think, is how this product sits right at that crossroads. You've got natural health, cutting-edge cell biology, and, well, what people expect from a supplement. We're definitely going beyond just the marketing buzzwords to see what the actual data, or lack thereof, and the real-world experiences are suggesting. It really brings up a big question, doesn't it? In this huge market of supplements, how do you figure out what genuinely supports our body's amazing repair systems?
Exactly. So let's start right there. What is StemRegen actually claiming it does? The core promise, it seems, is pretty bold. It says it naturally boosts your body's own stem cell production. And the how is interesting. It uses plant-based ingredients. The review specifically mentioned things like stem berry and stem mallow, kind of proprietary names.
Sounds like it, yeah, trademarks perhaps.
Right, alongside something more familiar like Panax noto ginseng. Now, the mechanism they're proposing sounds, well, powerful. They say it increases the stem cells floating around in your blood by kicking them out of your bone marrow.
Mobilizing them, yeah.
Mobilizing them, right. From a science angle, how plausible is that with something you take orally, something plant-based? Are there big hurdles there usually?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's why StemRegen is kind of intriguing. See, when we talk about mobilizing stem cells from bone marrow, that's not a small thing. That's the body's main stash of these super versatile master cells. These are the cells that can become muscle, nerve, whatever's needed, right? They're absolutely critical for repair. So the claim is essentially that StemRegen is like sending out a signal, a wake-up call, to get more of these repair crews out of storage and into the bloodstream where they can do their job. Most supplements are more about general support for cell health. This is claiming something much more direct activation and mobilization. That's a pretty big leap.
That is a big leap.
Regarding those ingredients, stem berry, stem mallow, yeah, likely proprietary extracts. We'd need more specifics on the actual plants and research. Panax noto ginseng, though, that's known. It's an adaptogen. But here's the kicker, the surprising science the reviewer mentioned. Apparently, the company does have some clinical data tests showing more stem cells in the blood after taking it.
Okay, so actual measurements.
Actual measurements, yeah. And like the reviewer said, that's more than most supplement companies can say. It suggests something measurable is happening with circulating stem cells, which, makes you want to look closer.
That distinction, general support versus active mobilization, that's really key. And having some preliminary data, even if it's just preliminary, does set it apart a bit. But as always, the big question for you listening is, does any of that actually translate? Do people feel different? What did Savage Reviews find about real-world user reports?
Right, the real-world bit. That's crucial. The review found a pretty consistent theme. Most users felt they had more energy and recovered better, maybe from exercise or just daily strain.
Okay, that sounds promising.
It does, but it wasn't instant. These feelings usually kicked in after about, say, 4 to 6 weeks of taking it consistently.
So not right away. Takes time.
Definitely takes time.
Yeah.
And some people also mention sleeping better, maybe less inflammation, things that definitely add up to feeling better overall.
Sure.
However, and the review is really clear on this, the effects are described as subtle. This isn't like flipping a switch.
Right, not a miracle overnight kind of thing.
Exactly. No superhero transformations happening here. It's more like a gradual sort of tuning up of your body's baseline function.
Okay, so those positive reports sound good, but subtle effects takes weeks. Is there a risk of placebo here? That's always a question with supplements, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. It's a huge factor, especially when changes are gradual and subjective, like feeling more energy. You can't discount the power of belief. And what the review really emphasized was this subtlety. You're basically making a bet, investing in the idea that your own repair systems will just work a bit more efficiently with more stem cells around.
A bet on your own biology, essentially.
Pretty much. But this leads to what the reviewer called a problem nobody talks about, which is?
Which is?
Well, stem cell supplements, this whole area, it's still really new. The long-term research, the kind of gold standard studies you see for drugs, it's just not there yet.
We're still in the early days.
Very early days.
Yeah.
We don't fully understand the long-term implications of, nudging stem cell activity with oral supplements day after day. So while that preliminary data is interesting, the big picture, the decades of evidence, that's missing. And that context is vital for you to know.
Yeah, that makes sense. It explains why some scientists might still be looking at this and thinking, okay, show me more definitive proof.
Precisely. Skepticism is understandable when the science is still evolving. It's this gap between the innovative claim and the established evidence that you need to be aware of.
It's like you said, it's kind of an investment, maybe like a health savings plan. You hope for growth, but the statements aren't always crystal clear.
That's a good analogy, actually. And it leads directly to the biggest complaint the review highlighted. It just takes patience, a lot of patience.
All right. Not for the impatient, then.
Definitely not. People have consistently said you won't notice big shifts in the first few weeks. And for some, they might not notice much consciously at all.
Wow, okay.
So you have this waiting game combined with the cost. StemRegen isn't cheap. It's positioned as premium.
So you're making a pretty significant financial commitment over time.
Exactly. It's not like grabbing a bottle of vitamin C. It's a commitment, an ongoing investment.
That combination, patience needed, significant cost, that touches on something interesting about, well, us as consumers in the wellness world.
How so?
Well, we often want results, right? Preferably quick ones. So a product asking for months of commitment in cash before you might feel subtle changes, that really tests your resolve.
It does. It becomes less of a purchase and more like a personal experiment, like you said.
Yeah, and the return on investment isn't just money, it's how you feel, your hope. It gets complicated.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, this interplay, subtle effects, patience, cost house, it really underscores why you need critical thinking here. You have to ask, what am I really buying into?
And didn't the review also say it works differently for everyone? That adds another layer of uncertainty.
It did, yeah. That variability is key. Your outcome might not be the same as someone else's glowing review. And that probably comes down to individual biology, right? Your baseline health, lifestyle, genetics, even why your body might need repair in the first place. It's complex.
So not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Definitely not, which is typical for things trying to boost internal systems. But it means managing expectations is crucial. Can't just assume it'll work wonders for you specifically.
Okay, so bringing it all together, where does that leave you, the listener? What's the bottom line here?
Well, the honest take from the Savage Review's deep dive was pretty specific about who might consider it.
Who was that?
Basically, if you're dealing with ongoing stuff like chronic inflammation, maybe you feel like you recover really slowly from exertion or injuries, or you have those general aging concerns you want to be proactive about.
Okay, specific conditions or concerns.
Right. And, crucially, if you've got the budget for a long-term experiment, they really stress that part.
Not casual trial.
No. The advice was commit for 3 months, minimum. Give it a real shot to see if anything happens.
And the big caveat.
The big caveat, very clearly stated, don't expect magic. Expect gradual support. Think enhancement, optimization of what your body already does, not some kind of biological revolution.
Gradual support for existing systems. That framing seems important.
It is, and it really brings up a critical question for anyone considering this, doesn't it?
Which is?
How do you weigh that potential for gradual, subtle help against the definite cost, the need for patience, and the fact that the science, while intriguing, is still developing?
Right. It's a personal calculation.
It really is. It's about informed decision-making. You have to look at your specific needs, your goals, your budget. It demands real self-assessment. And honestly, probably chat with your doctor too,
Yeah.
especially with premium things in newer fields. Just make sure it fits your overall health picture.
Good point. It's an exploration, not a guaranteed fix.
Exactly. Understanding those nuances is key.
So we kind of walked through the whole StemRegen story from the interesting claims and that bit of early data.
Which is notable in itself.
It is, yeah. All the way to the real-world feedback and the, let's say, managed expectations. We've seen it has some backing for that core claim about circulating stem cells, which sets it apart a bit.
Yeah.
But also, those big caveats. Subtle effects, you got to be patient, it costs a fair bit, and the long-term research just isn't there yet. So as you think about stuff like this, it's worth reflecting on that balance, between the exciting new thing and the solid established science. And what does gradual support really mean for your health journey?
And maybe just a final thought to chew on as we wrap up. In this world where we're often looking for the quick fix, the hacks, the shortcut to feeling amazing, maybe the most powerful impact doesn't come from one single pill or powder. Perhaps it comes from really understanding and appreciating our body's own incredible, often very subtle ability to heal and regenerate itself. So the question becomes, where do products like StemRegen fit into that? Are they a key to unlocking potential, or just one more tool in a much bigger toolbox for exploring health and well-being? Something to think about.